What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the film room. Happy to be back in posting on the channel. Decided to take this past week off from YouTube. Had my first big wave of tests in my final semester of college, so got to make sure I can get out of here in these next few months. But anyways, guys, getting into some Cowboys football. This video is going to be taking a look at a guy I think we can add to a position that has been neglected for quite some time by this Dallas Cowboys front office, and that is the defensive tackle position, which is pretty ironic considering the history that we have at this position, whether it be Randy White, Bob Lilly, Leon Lett, and our latest, so to speak, great at the defensive tackle position, Jay Ratliff. And ever since his departure in 2012, when he left for the Bears, we've pretty much neglected this position. Now we've had guys like Nick Hayden, Malik Collins, Tyrone Crawford, who have been serviceable, but since Jay Ratliff, we just haven't had that dominant force on the interior, and it was exposed this season. Teams like the Browns were running for 300 yards against us, and it was a consistent point of each team that we faced in their offensive game plan to gash us up the middle. And about 75% of the time this season, they succeeded in doing so. However, I think there is potential for that to change, and not just with the continued development of Neville Gallimore and the return of Tristan Hill, but with the potential addition of Dalvin Tomlinson. Not only will we be taking him away from our division rival New York Giants, but we would be adding a 6'3", 320-pound wrecking ball that can play at the 3-tech and the 1-tech position, allowing us a lot of variability down on that interior defensive line, knowing that guys like Tristan Hill and Neville Gallimore are going to be swapping around from those 3-tech and 1-tech spots as well. But with Dalvin Tomlinson, man, this is exactly what you get. Using that strength, getting guys off balance on the offensive line, and then using his instincts to get in the backfield and make plays. Just look at this play, using one arm to push this left guard way off balance, get leverage, and then get past him to wrap up and make the play. Similar stuff here out of Dalvin Tomlinson, except this time from the 1-tech spot. I mentioned his variability in being able to line up at the 3-tech and 1-tech and make plays in both. The Giants did a good job utilizing this, not just sticking him specifically to the 1-tech, but also using him at the 3-tech. But hey, if the matchup called for it, he could get down in the trenches against your center and make plays like this, not letting that center get that reach block, forcing him backwards, getting him off balance, not allowing Chubb to have a cutback lane. And this was a problem when we faced the Browns. Oftentimes, this center would definitely get this reach block on our 1-tech, and Chubb would be able to cut that ball back inside, even if we did have the leverage on the outside and be able to bust plays for it. Or I guess not Nick Chubb since he got hurt early, but then Kareem Hunt and even D'Ernest Johnson were doing this against us. So it is nice when I went back and watched Dalvin Tomlinson's film to be like, okay, he made some plays against the Browns because we made absolutely none. Here we got Dalvin Tomlinson once again at that 1-tech spot, and again against another team that was able to gash us on the run. And this right guard is going to come in down block on Dalvin Tomlinson and should win this block 99 times out of 100, considering that the play is going to the right. He has the leverage going to the left and sealing this off, but Dalvin Tomlinson is just too strong for that. Gets off of him, finesses his way through the blocks, and makes a play on the ball carrier to stop him for no gain. And once again, just using it seems like his one arm is often stronger than these offensive linemen's two arms. Look with this left arm, gets up under that armpit, gets him out of the way, and then once again the instincts to make a play on the ball carrier. Moving Dalvin Tomlinson back out to the 3-tech spot and putting him in another position to where he should not be making this play. The ball's going to come right up the middle and try to go off this center's butt, who is going to try and get just a seal block on Dalvin Tomlinson here. And this should be a fairly easy block just based on the alignment of Dalvin Tomlinson. But because of Tomlinson's strength and instincts, he shoves him right off and gets a tackle for the loss on the play. And against a strong running back in Leonard Fournette too, just throwing him backwards like he weighs nothing. I cannot emphasize enough just how strong Dalvin Tomlinson is. Whether it be going against linemen or going against running backs, this guy's going to get in there in the trenches and use all of that 320-pound frame to make plays. And that is exactly what you need out of your down lineman. Before we get into the pass rush side of things with Dalvin Tomlinson, just wanted to show you guys this play here because it just amazes me really how strong this kid is. And typically he's doing it with one arm, as you saw in a couple of those other plays, and that's no exception here. Just making NFL level centers look like high schoolers, getting that left arm under that shoulder pad again, and then forcing him 3 yards back into his own ball carrier for a 3-yard loss. Jeff Wilson just can't really do anything about it. He's got his center at the point of the handoff in his grill. Just not much he can do, and that's because Dalvin Tomlinson was just too strong on this play. And 90% of the time, this is the case. You'll often see guys struggling to contain him on run plays and not go backwards. Very rarely do you see Dalvin Tomlinson getting pushed backwards on a run play, and that is exactly what you want and why I'm dying for the Cowboys to pick this kid up. Regardless of what the price is, I know we don't like paying high at this position, but I think it would be worth it, especially considering the issues we had at this spot this past season and how teams were able to exploit it against us. Getting into the pass rush side of things when talking Dalvin Tomlinson, definitely not going to be an overwhelming strength of his, but not a weakness either. There's just not much variation in his pass rush. 90% of the time it's, hey, I'm 320 pounds, I'm stronger than you, I'm going to push you backwards into your quarterback. And just with how today's NFL, QB's getting the ball off a lot faster, that very typically doesn't result in a ton of sacks. He had 3.5 on the season, a couple real nice ones against us, throwing Tyler Biadasz to the side, and then doing the same thing to Connor Williams. Those were his 2 sacks where he got to the quarterback really fast, and that's just not what you usually see out of Dalvin Tomlinson. But he does make up for it in that he is a very instinctual player. If he realizes he's beat, he's not getting there as fast as he should be. He's going to get his head in the backfield and try to get his hands up and deflect passes, make plays on the football, do whatever he can to get involved in defending the pass. And also, he's a super high motor guy. Think of DeMarcus Lawrence just never giving up on his pass rush. If he can get to the quarterback, regardless of how long it takes, he's going to try and not give up to get there and constantly be fighting and raising hell on these offensive linemen. Getting into the contract side of things and where I think Dalvin Tomlinson will fall money-wise, I think it'll be in this Malik Jackson, Calais Campbell range. 4 years, $40 million, $10 million average. And with the departure of Tyrone Crawford that you see down here, we've been paying him $9 million for the past 5 years at an average annual value. So dump him off. I don't think it would be a huge problem for this team to come in and replace him with a better player for not much of a higher price. So get Dalvin Tomlinson in here. We know he's going to be that run stopper. I'm not concerned with the 3.5 sacks. Our sacks are going to be coming from the edge with Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence. So if we can just have that dominant force, and even he doesn't even have to be dominant, but that guy that teams are like, okay, we can't consistently just run up the middle against this guy. We're going to have some variation in our run game. Then I think we will be improved significantly on the defensive side of the ball and patch up a major wound from that 2020 defense. Well, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I appreciate you all for stopping by. Definitely don't forget to click that subscribe button if you enjoyed. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers. Really helps grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys all for the support. Also, make sure to like the video and comment below. Let me know what you think of Dalvin Tomlinson and if we should pay him that roughly $10 million a year to get him in here on this Dallas Cowboys defense. Really think personally that he could patch up a huge hole in this defense and be a force in this new Dan Quinn scheme. Other than that, I appreciate you all for stopping by. Hope you guys are making the most of your first Sunday without some NFL football. At least we got the Super Bowl to look forward to next weekend, though. Once again, guys, thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you on the next video.